Hello and happy Tuesday, and we are on lesson 78 today. That is area of regular polygons, and our standard that we are working on is find the area of regular polygons. Okay, so let's go over the example they have for us. So in a regular polygon, all sides have the same length and all angles have the same measure. To find the area of a regular polygon, divide it into triangles. So that means that we will make different triangles and they will be the same length, same base, same height. Okay, so if you know the area of a triangle, then this shouldn't be too difficult. The main thing you will be doing is finding the area of that one triangle. So if we see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. So we'd find the area of one triangle. Then once you have the area of one triangle, you multiply by 6 because there's 6 total triangles in this polygon. Let's continue going over the steps. So it says, step 1, draw line segments from each vertex to the center of the regular polygon. So that means you want to draw a line to the center, so then you can show the different triangles that are in that polygon. Step 2, examine the figure. The line segments divide the polygon into congruent triangles. This polygon is a hexagon. A hexagon has 6 sides, so there are 6 triangles. Okay, remember congruent means they're the same length, the same height. Okay, so we can see here, there's that polygon and it has 6 triangles. And step 3, find the area of one triangle. So you're finding the area of one triangle only. Use the formula area equals half times base times height, or remember you can do base times height, divide by 2. It means the same thing. Okay, then once you have that, so the base of, let's look at this example. So the base of the triangle or one side of the hexagon is 14 inches. The height of the triangle is 12.1 inches. So they took the half, they're multiplying it by the base, which is 14 inches, and then they're multiplying it by the height, which is 12.1 inches. Then they're showing the steps continuing, so that will equal a half times 14 times 12.1 is 169.4. Then they need to finish by multiplying by a half, and that will give them 84.7 inches squared. But that is not the only step because that's just the area for one triangle. But remember, we have 6 triangles in this polygon. So last step is to multiply by 6 because there are 6 triangles. So the area, so if you take 84.7 times 6, the total area will give us 508.2 square inches or inches squared, which they showed that step right here. Okay, so you probably will need a calculator for this just so you can practice the procedures and get those steps done quicker when you're multiplying. But if you want to show all of your work for the multiplication, that is fine. It's up to you. Okay, let's get into the first one, practice together. So it says, find the area of the regular polygon. So first we want to see how many congruent triangles are inside this pentagon. So here is our first shape. So best thing is to make little dash lines so you can see how many triangles you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles. So for that first little blank, we want to put 5. Then it says the area of each triangle. So we want to multiply area times half times base, which our base number here, I'm going to just write this, base is 8 millimeters. So I want to put half times 8, and then they're multiplying it by the height, which is 5.5. They just took that number from here. I'm going to go ahead and label that height. Okay, and then from there they want you to keep the half and multiply by 8 and the 5 times 5.5. So 8 times 5.5 is going to be 44. So remember, you can use a calculator on this. I already did my work earlier, so I'm just putting that work here. Then we want to multiply a half times 44. Remember, when you multiply by a half, it's just the same thing as dividing by 2. So half of 44 is 22, and that's millimeters squared. But we're not done. That's the area of just one of those triangles. But remember, how many triangles did we have in this polygon? We had 5. So we need to take that 22, we need to bring that down, and we need to multiply that by 5. So we have 22 times 5. Use a calculator if you need it. I already did my work earlier. That's going to be 110 millimeters squared. Okay, I want to try one more with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and try number 2 together. So first things first, we want to make sure we write our formula. So area equals 1/2 times base times height. Okay, and then I want you to put another little dot for multiplying, and you're going to multiply by amount of triangles. Okay, there's no variable or anything you can put here to represent that, so that's just what you're going to end up multiplying by. So let's rewrite this, and we're going to make sure we plug in the amounts, substitute the amounts for each variable or each part of that equation. So we know 1/2 is going to be times, the base number is 8.3, and then our height number is 10, and then we're going to multiply all of that by how many triangles we have. So let's go ahead and draw to see how many triangles we end up having. Just draw those dotted lines to show your triangles. Okay, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to multiply all that by 8 because there's 8 triangles. Okay, let's rewrite this. So we have area equals 1/2, and then we're multiplying. 8.3 times 10 will just be 83. Bring down times 8. Okay, now we'll go ahead and multiply 1/2 times 83. And 1/2 times 83 is 41.5. And we want to bring down times 8. And then 41.5 times 8 will give us 332. And let's just write it right here. We have 332 meters squared. All right. I want you to go ahead and try number 3 and 4. Come back and check your work. Okay, let's check our answers for number 3. Here is my work. And the answer was 124 feet squared. For number 4, here's all of my work. And the answer was 940.5 centimeters squared. Let's go ahead and go to the back of the page. Okay, we are on the back of the page. Let's go ahead and read this together. Marcia has a regular hexagonal patch on her backpack. A diagram of the patch is shown. So here's our diagram. It is a polygon. Well, it's a hexagon. So they have that here. And they already showed us what one triangle, the base and the height will be. It says, what is the area of her patch? So we're going to go ahead and solve this like we did with our first problems. So we want to set up our formula first. So area equals 1/2 times base times height. And remember, we'll multiply that by amount of triangles. Okay? So let's go ahead and rewrite this and substitute our numbers for the variables. So 1/2 times, the base number is 4 centimeters. The height number is 3.5 centimeters. And the amount of triangles, let's go ahead and check that out. We have the triangles here. And you could skip that step where you're drawing. You could just count the lines. 1, 2, the straight lines. 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. So you could always do that too. Okay. Now let's bring the 1/2 down, and 4 times 3.5 will get us 14. Bring down times 6. And then 1/2 times 14 is 7. Bring down times 6. And 7 times 6 will give us 42. So 42 centimeters squared is C. All right, awesome. I want you to try the rest on this page and then come back and check your work. Okay, let's go ahead and go over our answers. For number 2, here's my work. The answer was C. For number 3, here's my work. It was pretty simple. The answer was B. For number 4, here's my work. The answer was D. For number 5, here's my work. That is the best drawing I could do for a pentagon, but pentagons have 5 sides. The answer for the area of the pentagon was 130.5 inches squared. And for number 6, it actually had 2 questions. So the area of a triangle, of each triangle in a decagon, and then the height of each triangle. So decagons have 10 sides. So the information that I do know, I'm going to plug into this equation. So the total area of the decagon is 161 inches squared. That will be set up to equal a half. We know a half, that's a given, times the base, which is 4.6 inches, times height. We do not know the height of each triangle, times 10. Okay, now half times 4.6 times 10 will yield us 23. Still bring down times h because we do not know the height. Bring down 161. Now, on the right side of the equation, we are multiplying. So we need to do inverse operation to find out and get the variable all by itself. So divide both sides by 23. 23 by 23 is just 1, which is h. 161 divided by 23, which is 7. So our height for each triangle is 7. So that's why I put that here. Height is 7 inches. That's for each triangle. Now, to find the area of the triangle, that was another question they asked. We just go ahead and now we know the height, we know the base, we can find the area of the triangle. So area is a half times base times height, which is 4.6 for base, 7 for height. So half times 4.6 is 2.3 times 7 is going to be 16.1 inches squared. Or you could have just taken 161, divided it by 7, and you would have still had this answer. Either or, you could do it either way. Just make sure you're still getting the same answer as me, which the triangle area is 16.1 inches squared. All right, I hope you enjoyed this page today and understood it well. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.